Why INFJs don't think like others. Today, I want to speak directly to the people who often feel like they are walking through life with a foot in this world and a foot standing somewhere far beyond it. The people whose minds don't move in straight lines but in spirals. The people who see meaning layered inside every interaction even when they wish they didn't. The people who can't switch off the part of their brain that feels the energy around them the way others feel temperature. The people who have been told they are too much, too intense, too emotional, too quiet, too deep, or simply too different to fit neatly into the box everyone else seems perfectly content to live inside. This video is for the INFJs. If you've ever wondered why your thought patterns seem to drift in directions others cannot anticipate, why your inner world feels so rich and multi-layered compared to the surface-level conversations happening around you, or why you can sense the truth behind people's words long before they ever speak it, then listen closely, because today, we're breaking down 8 powerful reasons why INFJs do not think like anyone else. And by the end of this video, you might finally understand that the way your mind works isn't a flaw, isn't a weakness, and isn't a glitch in the system, it's a design. A rare and intentional blueprint for deep insight, intuition, empathy, and vision. 1. INFJs think in meaning, not moments. Imagine walking into a room and instantly sensing every emotional undercurrent flowing beneath the surface. Who is uncomfortable? Who is anxious? Who is pretending to be confident but is secretly terrified of being judged? Who is hiding sadness under jokes? Who is watching others but doesn't want to be seen themselves? For most people, a room is just a room. For an INFJ, a room is a tapestry. INFJs don't think in raw data or isolated events, they think in meaning. A conversation isn't just words, it's tone, intention, emotional weight, patterns, contradictions, hidden motivations, and the energy that lives between the lines. And because INFJ's dominant function, introverted intuition, processes all of this subconsciously and then delivers insights in one sweeping intuitive knowing, they often reach conclusions faster than they can logically explain. This is why you, as an INFJ, often feel like you just know something, even when others demand proof you can't neatly provide. Your mind isn't gathering facts one by one, it's connecting patterns, processing symbolism, analyzing emotional shifts, synthesizing memories, and mapping human behavior, all at the same time. Most people think in moments. INFJs think in meaning, and meaning takes them to places others rarely see. 2. INFJs see the future as a story unfolding. While many people navigate life by reacting to whatever is in front of them, INFJs tend to see the world like a timeline stretched out far beyond the present moment. They think in long arcs, in possibilities, in potentials, in trajectories. If someone tells them their dream, the INFJ can already imagine the path that dream could take. If a conflict begins, the INFJ can already foresee how it might escalate. If a relationship forms, the INFJ can already sense the emotional landscape it may evolve into. This isn't magical thinking, it's a highly refined pattern projection ability. INFJs are constantly interpreting where things are going, not just where they currently stand. It's the reason INFJs struggle with shallow relationships or temporary mindsets. Their brains naturally reach toward the long-term implications and emotional consequences. They feel the weight of 5 years from now in the decisions they make today. And this forward-moving awareness sets them apart from people who only think in the present tense. While others say, let's just see what happens, the INFJ is silently thinking, I already know what's likely to happen. And that difference often makes them feel out of sync with the rest of the world. 3. INFJs read people like landscapes. To the INFJ mind, people are not puzzles, they are landscapes with valleys of insecurity, mountains of ambition, rivers of emotion, and storms of buried fear. INFJs don't simply observe behavior, they interpret it. They pick up on micro-expressions. They sense shifts in energy. They notice inconsistencies. They recognize emotional truths hidden beneath rehearsed facades. This ability comes with both beauty and burden. Because when you, as an INFJ, understand people so deeply, it can become difficult for others to understand you. Where others see a person's actions, INFJs see the emotional roots that created those actions. Where others judge, INFJs interpret. Where others react, INFJs empathize. This makes INFJs remarkably compassionate, but it also isolates them. Their depth of insight is so rare that trying to explain it often leaves them sounding dramatic, sensitive, or overly analytical to people who cannot perceive the layers they instinctively recognize. INFJs don't think like others because they don't see people like others. They see the entire inner world, even when they wish they couldn't. 4. INFJs are both idealists and realists. This duality is one of the most misunderstood parts of INFJ psychology. INFJs are dreamers with a deep yearning for meaning, harmony, authenticity, and emotional truth. But they are also starkly aware of reality's harsh edges. They want the world to be kinder, but they see its cruelty. They want people to be honest, but they see their dishonesty. They believe in potential, but they see patterns. They believe in humanity, but they understand its flaws. This unusual combination, idealism fused with realism, creates a type of thinking that is simultaneously hopeful and cautious, trusting and skeptical, open-hearted and guarded. INFJs dream in color but plan in structure. They imagine a better world but prepare for the one that exists. This dual vision shapes every thought they have, causing them to approach decisions from multiple angles at once. It's why INFJs can be optimistic but still highly protective of their boundaries, deeply compassionate but also quietly strategic. Most people live on one side of the spectrum. INFJs live on both. 5. INFJs think in emotional patterns, not emotional reactions. While many people react emotionally in the moment, INFJs tend to process emotions through patterns, meaning they evaluate not just what they feel, but why they feel it, where that feeling came from, and what it says about the situation or the relationship as a whole. An emotion for an INFJ is not a simple experience, it is a message, a signal, a clue, a data point. If someone hurts them, they don't simply feel pain. They analyze the emotional wound, the intention behind the action, the deeper dynamics at play, and the pattern this behavior fits into. If someone comforts them, they don't just feel warmth. They recognize loyalty, sincerity, and emotional safety, all layered inside one moment. INFJs do not drown in emotion, they navigate it. This creates thoughtfulness, empathy, and introspective clarity, but it also means INFJs rarely take things at face value. They are always digging deeper, interpreting, connecting, and understanding on a level most people never consider. They think beneath the surface, because that's where the truth always is. 6. INFJs hold multiple truths at once. Where many people see the world in binaries, right/wrong, good/bad, yes/no, INFJs see complexity. They can understand someone's painful childhood and still hold them accountable for their harmful behavior. They can empathize with someone's insecurities but still recognize when that person is manipulative. They can forgive someone and still choose not to keep them in their life. INFJs think in layers, not lines. They understand that humans are paradoxical, nuanced, inconsistent, and emotionally messy. They can love someone deeply while simultaneously recognizing that the relationship is unhealthy. They can believe in someone's potential while acknowledging that their current behavior is destructive. This ability to hold multiple truths at once is powerful, but it also makes INFJs feel out of sync with people who want simple answers or one-dimensional explanations. INFJs see the full picture, and sometimes that picture is complicated. 7. INFJs think about identity in a deeper way. For INFJs, identity is not about labels, roles, or external validation. It's about the inner values, core beliefs, emotional truths, and soul-level purposes that shape who they are. They are constantly evaluating whether their actions match their ethics, whether their relationships align with their values, whether their choices reflect their inner vision. This self-awareness runs deeper than most people expect. It's why INFJs feel such intense pressure to stay authentic, why they struggle with environments that force them into shallow versions of themselves, and why they often feel lost in systems that reward conformity rather than individuality. INFJs do not think about, who should I be? They think about, who am I at my core? And how do I become more aligned with that truth? Identity, for them, is a lifelong journey of refinement, introspection, and emotional honesty. And that journey makes their inner world far more complex than most people realize. 8. INFJs think in stories, not facts. Facts alone rarely satisfy the INFJ mind. They want the meaning behind the fact, the pattern behind the information, the narrative behind the event. They think in stories, the story of a person, the story of a relationship, the story of why something matters. This is why INFJs often make incredible storytellers, counselors, writers, and visionaries. They don't merely recall events, they interpret them. They don't merely observe life, they translate it. When an INFJ thinks, they often craft mental narratives to understand the world, stories about growth, healing, intention, transformation, patterns, connections, and emotional evolution. Where others see a random series of events, INFJs see an unfolding story with characters, motivations, conflicts, meanings, and lessons. This narrative-based thinking makes INFJs wise beyond their years, but also fundamentally different from the people around them. If you have ever wondered why you think so differently, why your insights feel so heavy, why your brain never stops analyzing, interpreting, and understanding everything around you, the answer is simple. You are wired for depth in a world that often prefers surfaces. Your intuition is not an accident. Your pattern recognition is not an accident. Your empathy is not an accident. Your complexity is not an accident. You think differently because you are different, profoundly, intentionally, beautifully different. And even if the world doesn't always understand the way your mind works, your insight, your compassion, your vision, and your perceptiveness are needed more than ever. Because while others react, you reflect. While others judge, you understand. While others see the moment, you see the meaning. And that is the gift of being an INFJ. If this resonated with you, you already know, you are not alone. And there is nothing wrong with thinking differently. There is power in the way your mind works. Never forget that.